Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Glimmer Gang podcast. This is our set review for Emerald in Into the Inklands. We have two very special guests joining us on the pod today. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Sure. So thanks for having me. My name is Rebekah, and I am from Lorcana Illuminary. I am mostly over on Instagram and a little bit on Twitter and around like the official Discord and things. And I asked the Glimmer Gang if it'd be all right if I brought with me a guest. This is my son, and I will let him introduce himself.
Thank you for having me. My name is Caleb, and yeah, I'm her son.
Well, thank you both for being here. I'm very excited for this. This is the first time that we've had a younger person on the show. It's funny because when this Disney trading card game come out, it turns out it's mostly like 20 somethings and 30
Right.
somethings at this point that are interested in it, not so much the younger crowd. I have a 12-year-old son myself,
Nice.
and we have been starting to get into Lorcana together. I have been in it since day one. He's not really a Disney kid, so he wasn't like immediately drawn to it, but him and I played Digimon together. He would go down to LGS with me. We'd play Digimon against everybody and have a blast. So he's kind of getting the itch to play TCGs again. So he's dipping his toes in trying to find what characters he likes. So
Yeah. Yeah. So Caleb is 14. He's a freshman in high school this year. And how's it going so far? In high school.
I don't like it.
But I had taught him when he was maybe 10 how to play Magic a little bit.
Not way earlier.
Oh,
I was
earlier.
like, and you weren't the first to teach me. One of my friends actually taught me when I was about 8.5, 9 years old.
There you go.
So
So he had played, but he wasn't playing a lot. And so then when Lorcana came out, I, as a Disney fan, was super interested. And since he liked playing Magic a little bit, I was like, oh, this is something we can do together. And so we go to our league together every week, which is really cool.
yeah.
that's awesome. I love to hear it. So Caleb, what's your favorite colors in Magic?
In
I'm a big
Magic,
Magic player. I'm a big Magic player myself.
I really like. So I think right now my favorite deck is just a forest deck. It's a Vivian deck based. It's surrounded. It's the deck is basically built around Vivian Nature Avenger.
Oh, I
Um,
like it. I like it.
which I have Vivian's Crocodile. Then I have the Elk that returns Vivian from like my deck or discard into my hand.
So it's all green.
So it's all green, and it's working pretty well.
I like that, man.
It
Green's one of
worked
my
pretty
favorite
well when I was
colors.
playing, but now it's all Lorcana now.
There we
I haven't
go.
touched Magic in a while.
Yeah, I haven't really touched Magic much either. I play with my buddies. I play Commander every once in a while, but much more into Lorcana. All right, so we are gathered here today to talk about the Emerald cards in this set. We have some real strong ones, if you ask me, and some strong inkable ones at that. Something you don't typically have, something we
Surprising.
haven't seen in Emerald.
Exactly. I was like, what? A
There's-
great inkable card?
There's actually inkable cards that are able to use that are strong.
Right, I know. All right, so let's jump right into it. First card we're going to talk about is Cubby, Mighty Lost Boy, 4-drop, 4-cost, inkable, 3/5, 1 lore. His ability is the bear. Whenever this character moves to a location, he gets +3 strength this turn. So what do we think about Cubby?
I mean, it would not be like a favorite go-to card because it's very location specific. So like if you don't have locations out, his ability isn't very useful. And I mean he's a 3/5, but like just like personally I play aggro, and so it's only one, and it's kind of a higher cost for just only one lore. I mean, so that's just my point of view from for Cubby.
Yeah, he's all right. I don't like love him, but I don't hate him either. Like
Mm.
5
I think
willpower is good.
yeah, I think one of the big drawbacks with him is kind of what you said, Caleb. He's location specific, and not just that, he's moving to location specific. He's not like he doesn't want to just sit on locations and do stuff. He has to be moving to locations to get that benefit. So
Yeah, which uses up a lot of ink.
yeah, so I think he's kind of meh. Also,
Meh. That's what I wrote
Yeah.
down.
all right. Next card we're going to talk about is Cursed Merfolk, Ursula's Handiwork. 1 cost, uninkable, 0 strength, 1 willpower, 2 lore, with the ability Poor Souls. Whenever this character is challenged, each opponent chooses and discards a card. I love this card personally, but what do you guys think?
Love it.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. I love it. No question. It's just like
You just brought up aggro, Caleb, so I feel like this is definitely a card you might have had your eye on.
oh, this is going in my deck for sure.
Oh, yes.
And it's great because it forces your opponent to like possibly make bad decisions right off the bat. You know?
And yeah, so like basically like my whole deck right now, it's aggro control. So like I have the cards on my deck that kind of like place other people where I want them to be and not in the position they want to be. So I think
Emerald's the perfect ink for that. You're right
yeah.
on the money there. Yeah,
Yeah.
great card. I think this is fantastic. I think this will see just a ton of play.
I think it'll see a lot of play. I would be surprised if it didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, next card we're going to talk about is Don Carnage, Prince of Pirates. 5 cost, inkable, 4/4, with evasive and 2 lore. What do we think of Don Carnage? From one of my favorite Disney IPs, I will say that.
Oh, is it Tailspin?
Oh, I love Tailspin.
Yeah. I love the card because of its ability and like it is evasive and like compared to Ray who is a 3/3 but 3 lore. I would say this card based on what you're going for can be better than Ray or worse than Ray. So if you're going for attack like attacking other bases, it would be better for that, but if you're going for lore, Ray would be better. But overall, I really like this card. I just really like it.
Yeah, it's fine for an evasive, you know.
I definitely think you're onto something, Caleb. I think this is definitely like a counter pick evasive character. Like you're picking him to counter, like you said, Ray and stuff like that. So not great, not terrible.
Yep.
Next card, Flotsam Riffraff. A 5 strength, 2 willpower, 3 cost, inkable, with the ability Eerie Pair. Your characters named Jetsam get +3 strength, 1 lore.
I actually really like this card. I love that it's 5 strength at just a 3 cost. Like there are not that many cards that have that high strength early in the game, and especially with locations, I think it could come in really handy with taking out locations early on.
Yeah.
Caleb, how you feeling about it?
I mean, it is a good card for challenging, but like for me, it it would work. I would prefer it better if you had Jetsam with it. So set one Jetsam or this set Jetsam. But for me, like this card isn't like as great on its own than with Jetsam.
Is set when Jetsam's the one that gives rush, isn't it?
Set one Jetsam gives evasive.
Oh, that's right.
Flotsam gives Jetsam rush.
Uh,
That's right. You're right. Yeah, I agree with you though. Absolutely. It could be. I think it'll definitely see play in like draft or sealed as almost a pseudo removal because he's
right,
gonna take something big down, but he's not gonna last past that
right.
unless you are lucky enough to also draft some Jetsams with him potentially. So
Yeah. So I think if you're gonna play like a Emerald Amethyst, having all of those out it would be really good. And I am looking at both both all of the Flotsam Jetsams, and for their lore, it's flip flopped. So set one, Flotsam had two. This set, Flotsam only has one, and then Jetsam one. Now Jetsam is two.
Yeah, you're
But
right. Good
I think
catch.
with both Jetsams giving set three, Jetsam evasive and ward while having it be a 5/2, that is something I don't feel like dealing with when I'm playing against somebody.
I know, right? You're right. You're absolutely
And
right.
if you have everything out,
Yeah.
no, I don't want it. I want this to be gone. I want to be prepared.
Yeah, I know, right? Absolutely. All right, so we got some mixed feelings about Flotsam, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So we got Friar Tuck, Priest of Nottingham, is our next Emerald card to talk about. It's 4 cost Inkable, 2 Strength, 4 Willpower, 2 Lore. When you play this character, the player or players with the most cards in their hand chooses and discards a card. I have some mixed feelings about this guy. I really.
I don't know if my feelings are mixed. I think I just don't particularly like it.
Maybe I was being too
The
nice.
only thing that I like about this guy is he quests for 2, but he is a high cost, and his ability affects yourself.
Yeah, it
So
hits you, right?
if you
So
have the most cards, no, no, absolutely not. I don't.
like
I want nothing to do
maybe
with it.
maybe in like maybe in like the discard build with Beast Relentless and Sheriff of Nottingham, this
Oh,
might see
yeah.
play, but I at that even at that point I don't know.
Yeah. It feels way too niche.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to say about this big guy because I agree with you guys completely. There's just too much potential downside. It's too
Yeah.
niche,
Very.
too expensive for the lore and the stats. So maybe next
Yeah,
time,
but
Friar
other than
Tuck.
that, I like the lore. I like the lore.
Right? Yeah.
And yeah, I like his art.
No, true. Absolutely. The art is great. The art is great.
Yeah.
All right. Our next card is Helga Sinclair, Femme Fatale, a 5 cost uninkable, 4 strength, 4 willpower, shift 3 with 2 lore. Her ability is this changes everything. Whenever this character quests, you may deal 3 damage to chosen damaged character. So, how do we feel about Shift Helga?
This one I do have mixed feelings about.
I don't.
Yes.
I don't have mixed feelings about this. It's all love. It's all love for this card. I love it because I think with Scar, like, or something that can do damage and like keep doing damage and like keep damage characters on the board,
Sure.
that's gonna help with banishing characters because
Yeah.
this does 3 damage instead of 1, like set 1 Hans. Except set 1 Hans you didn't need a damage, but still this card is great.
If you're playing like Emerald Steel and can do some pings out there, you know.
Yeah, but also legendary Scar from last set
Mm-hmm.
or Maui, especially if you're trying to get rid of big characters. Like if you do pull out Scar and rush 10/10 Goofy and quest with Helga, gets rid of Goofy in one turn, and you just cost your opponent 10 ink, lots of lore because he quests for 4,
Mm-hmm.
and that's brutal to do it in 1 turn.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. If I was playing Goofy, I would be really mad if somebody did that to me.
I like her. I do. I really do. I don't know that she'll see play in every deck, but I do think like a damaged
Yeah.
focused deck is definitely the place for her, you know. Maybe have the Steel Robin Hood that can exert to deal 1 damage and
damage.
other payoffs like that, and other enablers and payoffs like that. I think that she could be a lot of fun.
Yep. Totally. In the right deck. Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
All right, so our next card is Helga Sinclair, Vengeful Partner. She's a 2 cost inkable, 2 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore, with the ability Nothing Personal. When this character is challenged and banished, banish the challenging character. I think this is very much just not just the shift target for the other for shift target that we just spoke about, but I think that's a big part of what she is.
Totally. And with her effect, there's less chance of somebody. Well, at least it gives your opponent something to think about. With taking her out.
Right.
Yeah, except you want to play it more late game when they don't have many like lower cost characters out that they don't need to worry about.
Helga, the big Helga is a shift 3, right? So you
Yeah.
could play it.
You could play turn 3
on
Yeah.
her. Yeah, so play this turn 2 and big Helga on turn 3, and you'd be good to go.
Yeah, but I like her because she's like a mini Cusco.
Yeah, right. She is just kind of a mini Cusco, and I like the fact that she's a shift target with more options than just being a shift target,
And
as
just
opposed to
being
some
a
of the other
vanilla.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right. Our next card is Jetsam Riffraff. He is a 3-cost inkable, 2 strength, 2 willpower. He has Ward, 2 lore, and the ability Eerie Pair. Your character's named Flotsam, gain Ward. So we all already know how we feel about Flotsam, but how do we feel about Jetsam?
I like him a lot more than Flotsam.
Why? Why do you?
He has Ward.
Because of Ward.
And he quests for 2.
That's true. Yeah.
And also his ability to give Flotsam, I think, is better than Flotsam's ability to give Jetsam 3 strength. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think with the stats that where they're at, with having the 2 lore and Ward right there, it's a pretty valuable card. It could see play just as a value piece. Like, I know that it wouldn't be the first choice, but even in some aggro builds, this could be a decent, hard to deal with card, even without Jet or Flotsam.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could see people playing this and not feeling like they need to have the pair together, but just using Jetsam in their deck.
All right. Our next card is Kit Cloud Kicker, Tough Guy. He is a 3-cost inkable, 2 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore with the ability Sky Surfing. When you play this character, you may return chosen opposing character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand. I really like Kit Cloud Kicker. I am a big fan of this card in many ways.
Yes, I agree. I think he's great. This is befuddled, right? Basically, the ability here.
Very similar, yes.
Yeah, just on play. But yeah, I think he's great. What do you think?
No. I mean, so it is. I feel like it is similar to, like Gantu or
That's pretty harsh, man.
That was harsh.
Namari from Legendary Namari from set 2. It is like both of those legendaries are like nerfed, and I feel like this is just like another nerfed card. And like it's 2 strength. Like if it was like it is like a low cost character, so like it is gonna be like lower cost. But like I feel like it should be at least like 3 and 3 3 3 strength gets returned to their character's hand. So
wait for the old people in the room? What does nerfed mean?
nerfed means it's rigged. It says it's like its ability sounds good, but what it really does is like something not good. So like Gantu is a legendary, and he's an 8/8 quest for 2, and his ability only targets 2 cost characters. Can't challenge at all, which is a ripoff because Gantu's a legendary, and it should be like 4 a 4 cost. Because I mean Gantu's an 8 drop, like to knock out all the 2 cost characters. No, like not a lot of people are gonna be playing those late games. So
Right. So
Same with the
befuddle, I
Mario.
had it mixed up though, because befuddle is the cost, not the strength. So this is the strength. Yeah, which I feel like there's a lot of cards that have 2 strength that you could kick back.
There are a ton of
Yeah.
characters that you can bounce back. A couple off the top of my head. The new Sheriff of Nottingham, bounce that back for a turn. Evasive Minnie Mouse, bounce her back for a turn. The new Prince Eric, the one that banishes upon banishment, that guy can get bounced back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
2 of the targets for the new Jafar Shift card can get bounced. The new Ursula can get bounced. I think while this card may not be the strongest card out there, I think that it does have legs, especially depending on how the meta
Yeah.
falls.
I think you bring up a good point too, specifically with evasive cards. That I'm just thinking off the top of my head. There's quite a lot of evasive cards that are really low in strength, and so
Sometimes even just getting rid of them for one turn can
for
mean
one
the
turn,
world.
just to like mess with your opponent's
Yep.
tempo,
Yep.
and yeah, can be really nice.
All right. I think it's decent. We know how Caleb feels.
Yep.
Rebekah, you're kind of in the same boat with me. I guess only time will tell. I guess we'll see.
Time will tell.
So the next card is Lyle Tiberius Rourke, Cunning Mercenary, a 3-cost uninkable, 2 strength, 4 willpower with 1 lore, and the ability. Well, now you know. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn, and the ability Thanks for volunteering. Whenever one of your other characters is banished, each opponent loses 1 lore. I like Lyle.
Lyle. Yeah, I like. I don't like love him, but I like him.
I like his abilities. I mean, because like if you're playing this and say like you're playing like a super strong card that quests for lore, or not like a super strong card, but like it's just a card generally that quests for lore, and you end up playing this. Um, this would be great because then that kind of messes with them and how they're questing. And then now they lose lore when you and it's like it's whenever they're banished. So this is really good.
Right, because this is not banished in a challenge. It's just if they're
So even
banished.
if I think even if you play Be Prepared,
yeah,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of discourse on social media as to how this works with Be Prepared,
that's
and it
brutal.
does.
Yep.
That is brutal if you have lots of cards out.
Yeah. Which again, it just forces your opponent to like
do something that they don't want to
second
do.
guess, or make a bad decision because they're afraid of the consequences of their actions.
Yep. I completely agree. I think this is a fun counter to a lot of things that people typically do in a Lorcana game, and it makes people, like you said, it makes them think twice.
Yep.
Okay, so our next card is Milo Thatch, Clever Cartographer. He's a 1-cost inkable, 2 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore. And that's about all we need to know about him.
He's
shift target.
He's the shift target for the next card that we're going to talk about, essentially.
Yep.
So, without further ado, we have Milo Thatch, King of Atlantis, a 7-cost uninkable, 4 strength, 4 willpower, shift 4 with 3 lore, and the ability to take them by surprise. When this character is banished, return all opposing characters to their player's hands. I know a lot of people want this card to be really, really good, but I just don't think with the way the game is currently being played, I don't think this is very good at all.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't like that he is so expensive and being uninkable. I mean, I know you can shift 4 if you can, but I don't think he's going to see a lot of play. I don't, it reminds me like a lot about how, last set people thought, the Bell Hidden Archer was going to be all over the place and then never was. I feel like Milo's going to fall kind of in that same boat.
I have to contradict both of your ideas.
Caleb's like, I love this card.
This is going in my deck. Personally, it's another deck that is towards the control part of my deck. And that is why I like Milo, because then one, Milo Thatch, the one drop will just give me some one drops to get into my deck. I only have
Fair.
like one drop, and that's a Minnie Mouse from like set one. Uh, so having these two cards in my deck will help me get some more one drops into here. And I just like his ability a lot. His ability is amazing.
Yeah. He's actually one that I think, not so much in just, one on one, but would be fun to play in multiplayer games.
For sure. I think in a multiplayer game, this
Yeah.
guy could be a lot of fun just to mess with everybody,
With
essentially.
everyone. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's sitting at a pre-sale price of about $25 right now. So, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are agreeing with Caleb here. So,
Yeah.
so we'll see. We'll see
We
where it
shall
goes with
see.
We
Milo.
shall see.
All right, our next card is Morph Space Goo, 2 cost inkable, 2 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore with the ability mimicry. You may play any character with shift on this character as if this character had any name. This card is bonkers, if you ask me.
I I think it's crazy that we have a card like this in the game. I'm I'm like surprised that they gave us like this gift.
Honestly, and
This
it's inkable.
And it's inkable. Yeah.
you know all of those who are like shift and you see this and you don't have that one drop or whatever it is,
Like a target.
that a
Yeah.
target shift. Woohoo, this is amazing. So
It is absolutely. I agree with you, and it's you can even add a whole nother layer on top of that. When you have a morph out, they don't know what you're shifting on top of it. Like
This is
if you
true.
have another shift target, you can telegraph your move. Like if you have a little hook, you can shift big hook. Little tink, you can shift big tink. But with morph, you're sitting there like, what colors are you in again?
Right.
What inks are you
Right.
using? What are the
it's like,
choices right
wait,
now?
what is
Yeah.
shiftable in the color
Yeah,
that we're
exactly.
playing?
Yeah.
So I think that in and of itself makes this a even just from that strategic standpoint, I think that makes this a great card. On top of
Yeah.
the fact that it's super cheap and it adds tons of consistency if your deck is either in Emerald or can be in Emerald as a secondary color.
Yeah. And even besides, talking about consistency, it's like even if there is a shift character that has a shift target, if you have morph in there too, it just gives you more opportunities to shift.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think he's great. I think he will definitely see play and he will definitely be expensive.
Yeah, he's
Well,
already
well,
$10 right now.
he's actually $6.50 on TCG Player. He has
Oh,
been
damn.
dropping, thank goodness.
Oh, that is good. Go pick him up now.
All right.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get some for the Glimmer Gauntlet. So,
Yeah.
Whew, I want to get some.
all
I wanna
right.
get some more.
So our next card is Peter Pan, Lost Boy Leader, a 4 cost inkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore with the ability I came to listen to the stories. Once per turn, when this character moves to a location, gain lore equal to that location's lore.
Meh.
Not this isn't as bad as the last one that we spoke about with moving to locations, but again, this still you have to be moving to locations every turn. So you're not and it's only once per turn with this guy. So you're
Right.
not like generating tons and tons of lore.
Right.
I think I would like
And
him more if he had some sort of protection, like evasive reward, maybe.
if he had, if he had evasive, I would like him a lot more. Or Ward, either of those. But yeah, he's fine to me. I don't think he's terrible. I don't love him, but I don't hate him either. Same.
Location specific,
Yeah.
and I think it would be better if he could do it as much as you could move him around.
Sure. Yep.
Which, if I would say I would like him if I could move him around, and it would count
Right.
for each time I moved him. But because it was only once and it's location specific, I would personally not see this Peter Pan being played a ton because his ability isn't as great.
Mm.
Kind of nerfed. again.
Yep, I don't disagree. I really don't. So, all right. Next card is Prince John, Phony King, 5 cost, uninkable, 2 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore with the ability collect taxes. Whenever this character quests, each opponent with more lore than you loses 2 lore. This I think has a lot of fun implications for multiplayer, especially.
100% agree with you.
Yeah. Multiplayer, it would be really good, but uh I would say that if you're just playing a one-on-one, it's not great. It is personally it like you just be wasting that card, and it's pretty high cost. It's not inkable.
I think the uninkable is a huge drawback because Emerald
I
has so
agree.
much uninkable already, and this card is not good enough to take up an uninkable slot.
It's really not. I agree. Yep, you guys nailed that one on the head, I think. If it was inkable, I think that would just open that card up to a lot more possibilities. But for now, our next card is Robin Hood Daydreamer. 6 cost inkable, 4 strength, 5 willpower, 4 lore vanilla. Lots of lore.
Lots of lore.
Lots of lore.
Lots of lore.
Which Caleb in his aggro deck, he's like, yes.
Yep. Yep. Going in.
I mean, honestly, great top end. I think as far as like stats and everything go, he's probably, as far as like the big lore vanillas, he's probably the best one at this point.
For sure.
I'd say he's about as good as Little Taylor.
Yeah, and if you were playing like Emerald Amber, because Amber has so much where you can get cards out sooner,
True. Yep.
that if you could get Robin Hood out even sooner in the game, then that'd be really sweet.
Yeah,
I agree. All right. Our next card is Shenzi, Hyena Pack Leader. She is a 4 cost, inkable, 0 strength, 6 willpower, with 1 lore and the ability I'll handle this while this character is at a location. She gets +3 strength. And the ability What's the Hurry? While this character is at a location, whenever she challenges another character, you may draw a card. See, Shenzi is what I want to see when I see location based characters. 100%. I want to see me generating stuff from making the investment of having not only a location out but something there.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
the draw is also really great because Emerald needs that.
Yeah, desperately.
I personally would put like maybe 1 or 2 in my deck. I wouldn't put like 4 and take up a whole bunch of cards into my deck because it's location specific, and I just don't really. That's not really what I like.
Yeah, I think that if you have a deck that has, that you're kind of building with locations, that she would be a great one to have in there for sure with Emerald.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she just gets better with if we get more location love, I think she just keeps getting better and better.
Oh yes. Yeah, like as we get more sets, 100% agree.
I think this card would be really, really good if you had like. So I used to play Emerald Steel, and so I would always play Mouse Armors. And so if you could keep this going with if you could keep challenging if you have enough Mouse Armors to just challenge those little characters and just keep drawing cards.
Yep. Or if you have Steel, put her at Maui's place.
True.
Ooh, yeah. 2 resist.
Yeah, or see, not so bad, eh?
Not so bad.
Not so bad.
All right.
Turn them around.
So our next card we're going to talk about is Sir Hiss, Aggravating Asp. He is a 2 cost inkable, 3 strength, 1 willpower, evasive with 1 lore. Again, I think he's more of just like a counter pick. Like you're using him to get rid of other evasives.
Yeah. Yep. This is your like what is it, mini, right?
Yep.
Yep.
kind of the pan shadow of Emerald at this point is kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Our next card is Skippy, Energetic Rabbit, 2 cost Inkable, 2 strength, 2 willpower ward with 1 lore. I think that this is just a reprint of Aladdin Prince Ali. I think that they're the same card, except that, I mean, obviously they're not the same character, but I think they mirror each other in stats.
Yeah, I've seen that like with like a lot of one drops lately, because you have from set 1, uh like you would have Stitch, new dog. Set 2 you had Owl, the Queen.
Wait, but those are all
And
one drops.
I know, but
Yeah.
they all mirror each other.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to Aladdin,
Yeah.
it mirrors each other. So
Which I'm not a fan. I don't know. It's fine. I don't think that paying 2 costs for
award
for just to get the ward is worth it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the fact that we haven't seen the Prince Ali played is testament to that, because
Exactly.
Prince Ali didn't get played, and he even has a good shift, a good
Good shift,
his
yeah.
his heroic outlaw to shift into, which is arguably a pretty good card. So
Yeah.
without a shift, something to shift into, I don't think he sees play, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you.
all right, so our next card is Starkey, Devious Pirate. He's a 7 cost Inkable, 6 strength, 6 willpower, 3 lore. Vanilla. How are we feeling about Starkey? I think that this is his second card he's gotten so far.
Yeah. I personally don't like him.
He's too expensive.
He's
so expensive, and I'd rather just play Robin Hood, who's 1 ink less and quest for 1 more.
Yeah,
Even though
exactly
he
right.
has more more power and willpower and strength. I'd just rather play Robin Hood and get that extra lore and not have to pay 7, and just rather play 6 for 4.
Too expensive.
Yeah.
Too expensive. You heard it here first. Probably not. I'm sure everybody, as soon as they saw him, was like, wow, he's expensive. Our next card is Stitch, Covert Agent. He is a 5 cost Inkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower, evasive with 2 lore, and the ability Hide. While this character is at a location, he gains Ward. I think that this card's super interesting. I like him a lot.
Yeah. I think this is one that I'm like, jury's out on for me. Like I don't love him, but it'll be fun to see how he actually plays in games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it because it's evasive, and even though you have to go to a location, it's still really good because then he has evasive and he has ward. Even though he's like 5 cost inkable, I still think two lore, evasive, and ward while he's at a location is amazing, and that's why he will for sure be going into my deck.
That was pretty good.
That was really good, brother. That was really good. I think that he's definitely gonna. I think he's definitely gonna see some action. I think people are gonna play around with locations with him and Shenzi and see what kind of fun stuff can happen. Okay, our next card is Ursula Deceiver. 2 cost Inkable, 1 strength, 3 willpower with 1 lore and the ability You'll Never Even Miss It. When you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a song card of your choice. This card is so strong.
Love it. It's so good. I think everyone
who's tired of playing against Ruby Amethyst players and now who plays Emerald is like, finally I can kick their butt instead of them kicking mine. And now all the Ruby players are always just like, you better be prepared.
Yeah.
All the Emerald players strike back and said, no, you be prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
You lost your be prepared. You aren't prepared anymore.
And the fact that she's just an uncommon is like, I don't know. I'm surprised by that, I guess. She, is only a 1/3, so.
But I think she will definitely see play in every Emerald. I think people might even switch to play Emerald just because of this card.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful I already enjoy playing Emerald because as soon as I saw her and the next card we're about to
Yeah,
talk about, as
yeah.
soon as I saw them both, I was like, I knew I picked the right color to love.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think this is a much needed card to combat the strength
Yeah.
of songs in general because as we've all seen up to this point, songs are very, very strong. Who knew that being able to play a card essentially for free that has a great effect? Who knew that that was going to be
Who
strong?
knew how much that would affect the
Yeah.
game? Yes.
Speaking of singing songs, our next card is Ursula, Deceiver of All. 3 cost inkable, 2 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore with the ability What a Deal. Whenever this character sings a song, you may play that song again from your discard for free, then put it on the bottom of your deck. I mean, wow.
Yeah. This, I mean, it is very deserving of the legendary
Absolutely,
for
yes.
sure. And I was looking at, the songs that are 3 cost and lower, because obviously she has to be able
Lots of really, really good ones.
and there's so many good ones.
So many good ones.
I was like, well, okay, let's take a look. What songs are even out there that are 3 or less? Oh.
Let's just sing a Friends on the Other Side for 4 cards.
Right, for 4 cards.
Yeah,
Let's just like
wild.
bippity boppity boo,
Yep.
Let's
twice.
just one
Let's
jump
let's
ahead.
bounce a goat 2 or 3
Mhm.
times, you know?
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, so this one I think is so strong. It will 100% see play, and it's going to be fun for all the Emerald players out there.
It will, and I think Mother knows best. It's coming.
Oh,
it's
yes.
coming quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
I
absolutely
think
agree
people
with you.
might actually put Mother knows best back into their decks just for this card, and like all the cards that like are really good, but they're like that are 3 cost or lower.
The songs.
The songs.
Yeah.
They will
Mhm.
be seeing play again, hopefully.
Yep. That'll be fun.
Absolutely. All right. Our next card is Wildcat Mechanic. 3 cost inkable, 2 strength, 3 willpower with evasive, 1 lore, and the ability Disassemble, Exert, Banish chosen item. I like Wildcat quite a bit. I think that this is easily the new replacement for what people were using Benja for.
Benja, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, because Benja's only when he comes into play, correct?
Exactly.
And so this, if you can keep him on the board, and he has the evasive to help protect him, and we're just getting more and more items, with each set, and some of them are pretty dang good. So I really like Wildcat a lot. And for 3 cost,
So yeah, he slots into the same spot as Benja because Benja's also a 3 cost. Same stats. He does lose a lore, but he gained like we said, he gains the ability to potentially banish several items because
yes,
if they can't hit your evasive, because you remember he's evasive, so he's
Yep.
he's exerting to get rid of an item and then try to get me.
try to get me. Exactly. Yeah, I think he's super great.
Yeah, like I would say against most decks, I would only use it for the evasive, but because he only has like 1 lore, I personally would not use him very much and would just end up inking him. But I think against players who play mouse armor a lot,
Oh yeah. I mean, there's
that
so
would
many
be
items. Yeah.
but like and the new lucky dime
Yeah.
item, when players work so hard to get that item, and then we Emerald players just throw out a simple card and just like, you can throw that away now.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
unfortunate.
the only drawback I would say to him is that you do have to wait, right?
Yes,
You can't use the ability right away. So that's the one drawback there. But besides that,
I hope next set or in future sets to come they make something that is an item that does this, that may be like a legendary and like 5 cost.
There you go.
an item that stays on board to
An
banish
item,
other
yeah.
items.
Yeah.
I think that would be an amazing card.
That would be kind of cool. I like that. Maybe do something like look, I'm sure I think in like the Great Mouse Detective, weren't they like on a conveyor belt about to go into like a trash like destroyer type thing? Like
Yeah.
something like that would be really cool, I think.
That would be cool.
I'm gonna go on that one site to make that card.
Okay, so our last character card is honestly, I was so happy to see this character. One of my favorite characters in some of the Disney movies I loved as a child. We have Zazu, Steward of the Pride Lands. He is a 1 cost inkable, 2 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore with the ability It's Time to Go. While this character is at a location, he gets +1 lore. Another Emerald card that has a decent ability when at a location. I very much like this card.
Yep. I think that he's a nice one drop too to start out the game, and then if you're playing with locations, moving him there. Yeah, I think he's fun.
Yeah.
He flies around to the different locations.
How are we feeling about Zazu, Caleb?
I mean, I would say he's like, I like him. I don't like him. He's good. He's not good. He's like one of those cards that's like,
You
I
just want to
mean,
wait and see and play with locations, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think once we all get more
Just
practice
from looking at it,
playing with them, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah, 100%.
I think just from playing, if like, just from looking at it and without playing it, it's like, I wouldn't say it's like crazy good, but still.
All right, our first action. Well, it looks like all the actions in Emerald are also songs this
Oh,
time,
they're
so
all songs, yeah.
that's pretty nifty. So our first one is "Has Set My Heart." It's an song that costs 2 and is inkable, and it says "Banish Chosen Item." I could see this getting used. If items start becoming really powerful, if that the amethyst sapphire item deck that people have been talking about
Mm.
starts gaining ground, I could see this being played with the new Ursula. Sing it twice, get rid of 2 items. That's
Right.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know that this sees a lot of play though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting with the new with Into the Inklands if we see item decks become more of a thing. So far we haven't yet, and so I think having a character, like Benja or like Wildcat, having a character that can banish items and taking up a slot in your deck is fine, but a whole song where that's all it does, I don't know.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Unless you're using Ursula and you're playing against an item deck, I wouldn't put it in.
All right. Our next card is I Will Find My Way, a 1 cost inkable that says chosen character of yours gets +2 strength this turn. They may move to a location for free. I think that that's pretty decent for a song that can be sang by literally any character.
Right.
You don't even have to really worry about the 2 strength at this point. You're kind of just hoping to move somewhere for free. Like if you could move that Peter Pan to a
Yeah.
location for free, there you go. You're gaining lore for 1 ink, or yeah, 1 ink. So or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Was I don't know how much I care about the +2 strength. It's really a 1 cost song that to move a character for free to a location, and that's the value there for me.
And if you have Ursula, you could move 2 characters.
True.
And like I think it would be really good moving like characters to higher cost locations, like where their cost to move is
Oh,
higher.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree
Yep.
completely. Yeah. Um all right, so our third and final song is Strike a Good Match, a song from the movie Mulan. It's a 2 cost inkable that says draw 2 cards, then choose and discard a card. This is probably, as far as like an action or a song goes, this is probably as good a draw as Emerald's ever gonna get.
It really is.
You know,
Yes.
you
And
get
Emerald needs it.
you get your choice of cards. You draw the 2 cards, and then you can discard any card in your hand. So you could get 2 cards that are going to benefit you and get rid of 1 dead card in your hand potentially. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Oh, I love this card. I think it's great. It replaces itself. I don't think. I mean, I think that this will see a lot of play.
I mean, as an Emerald player, I don't know if I would use it,
Really?
but I just don't know. Like maybe I like if if that's like the only card of my hand, and then I end up drawing 2 cards that I really need.
Yeah, Emerald just
That.
doesn't have a lot of card draw in it, and so this is one of the few
places that you'll be able to draw a card. But yeah.
All right. Our first item that we're going to talk about is airfoil. It's a 2-cost inkable item that says has the ability I got to be going. You exert, and if you've played 2 or more actions this turn, you draw a card. I love it for the reference because it's from Tailspin again, but beyond that, I don't see this getting a ton of play.
Yeah.
Emerald has been wanting actions matters to happen since set 1, and it still hasn't yet. So,
And it still hasn't. Yeah. There's a handful of cards that want actions to matter, and we are not there yet. But hopefully, one of these days, it will be there, and then cards like this will be great to throw in. But for now, I don't see this one being played a lot.
I mean, it's just that the fact that you have to play 2 actions.
yeah, you know.
If you played 1 action, then I think that you would see it being played more, but otherwise, no.
All right, our next item is Robin's Bow. It is a 3-cost uninkable that has the ability Forest's Gift. Exert to deal 1 damage to chosen damaged character or location, and also the ability A Bit of a Lark. Whenever a character of yours named Robin Hood quests, you may ready this item. I think there is definite potential for this card.
Oh yeah.
I do, because I think simply because the new Steel Robin Hood pair they look really great. They look like they're going to see a lot of play, and I think that maybe a couple, like 2 of these in a deck with them, just to start, you just keep dropping extra damage on the field. I think because the shift Robin Hood just wants to challenge anyway. So
Right.
or no,
Yeah.
this wants questing, not challenging. Never mind.
See, that's what I don't like about that second ability is because like the little Robin Hood that does the 1 damage, you're just exerting them to do the damage, and so then you don't get that
Lore or the challenge.
Yeah, well, it's whenever a character yours named Robin Hood quests, then you may ready this item, and so if they challenge or if you exert a Robin Hood to use your ability, you can't ready the item. But I think it's decent. I don't hate it.
I mean, that would go really good with 2 cards, 2 emerald cards. One, the super rare Helga, who does 3 damage to a damaged character, and Big Cheshire from set 2, who can only banish damage characters.
Okay, I see where your head's at.
Yeah.
So if I could get this in my deck and play some Big Cheshire, I can ping a ginormous card that I don't want on the board and say goodbye.
Right. Yeah.
And also against my mom, who plays some hyper aggro stuff and has somehow manages to get out lots of Leelas and Maleficent and Pinocchios.
Haha.
3 lore. This is amazing. I like Robin's Bow.
Well, it's deal 1 damage to chosen damaged character
Or
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the drawback, which is so interesting that they kind of, we see that in a lot of cards for Emerald.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting mechanic.
They've already got to be weakened before Emerald can do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people think, oh, Emerald's getting all the good cards. Draw at Ravensburger. Nerf all of them. And we're like, don't.
All right, our third and final item of the night is Starlight Vial. It is a 4-cost uninkable with the ability Efficient Energy. It can exert it to pay 2 less for the next action you play this turn. And it also has Trap. Pay 2, banish this item, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Lots and lots of words, but I don't know if this card's really saying anything.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I'm not convinced.
It's uninkable. It's 4 cost. It's action matters. It's pay extra ink. I'm not a fan.
Nope. I don't. Even though it is the first item
Second
item that is not from any Disney movie
Yeah.
or show, and it's specific
True.
to Lorcana.
Yep,
We have
that's
the
true.
gyrosphere in Sapphire, and now this one, the Starlight Vial.
It's
So-
just
I guess it gets points for that.
Yes. Yeah, I'll give it bonus points. For...
I will give it +2.
There you
Right.
go.
All right. Now we're going to get down to the new card type for Into the Inklands. We're going to get into the locations. Okay, so our first location is Deville Manor, Cruella's Estate. It is a 1-cost inkable with a 1 movement cost and 4 willpower and 1 lore. It has no other abilities.
Vanilla.
Yep, vanilla. Aside from the fact that it is really cool art and I would love to have that on a playmat, I don't know that this card's going to really see the light of day.
I don't think so either.
I do.
You do.
You do? Just because it can come down so fast?
It's because that's where all the puppies are going to be.
Oh.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna make a 99 card deck and put 4 of those in.
All right.
I'm gonna actually put a lot more of those in and pretend like I only have 4.
Right.
I would just never play that location more than 4 times.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see with these, the one, because I think each ink has one that's a 1-drop, or at least they all have a vanilla, I should say. But with a 4 willpower, I don't know. I don't think we'll see it much.
Nope, I don't think it will either. But only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Our second of the 3 locations is Fang River City. It is a 4-cost inkable with 2 movement cost, 6 willpower, 2 lore, and the ability Surrounded by Water. Characters gain ward and evasive while here. Now this one, I see potential here, especially for all of these Emerald characters that care about being at a location.
And they also get some benefits.
Yeah.
Evasive and ward. And I think for Stitch, the Stitch style is here. It does this doesn't really matter, that its effect doesn't matter. But I think for other cards who you may have this sometimes in a match where you have this one card that you're just I really don't want them to touch this. Just move it to Fang and it's very unlikely it will be touched.
Yep, they definitely have to go through Fang to get to
Right.
whatever's there.
And
which could buy you enough time to do whatever you got to do,
Right.
Exactly.
And even though it's 4 cost, I still, because it has only the 2 cost to move, which, I know we'll talk about Cusco's Palace next, but you're at a point in the game by then where moving 1 character or even 2 to gain the benefit of being there at Fang, I think is going to be worth it.
I think it will be too. I if we do see maybe a Ruby Emerald locations matter type of dealie, I could see this definitely having some fun.
Yeah. And you get 2 lore too, which
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
With Voyage too from Ruby.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can move 2 characters for free. Isn't it a 2 uninkable, I think? Anyway.
There you go. All right, last card of the night. Our third location is Cusco's Palace, home of the Emperor. It's a 3-cost inkable with a 3 movement cost, 7 willpower, 1 lore, and the ability City Walls. Whenever a character is challenged and banished while here, banish the challenging character. That's essentially just giving anything there no touchy, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yep. It's just everybody's now Cusco.
Yes, everyone's Cusco.
Everybody's Cusco and everybody's Cheshire Cat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is expensive to move with the 3
That's the
movement
downside.
cost, and so that's where I could see people maybe not playing
using
it. Unless you're using cards like, I will find my way. Like if you can move characters there for free or Voyage.
I think Jim Hawkins would play this for free and then move there, right?
And move there. You're right, because he plays location 4 or less, which I guess they're all 4 or less, maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah. So.
And I love the fact that this is also at uncommon. It might not be the flashiest thing, but I think this could also see some play. Much for some of the same reasons as Fang. I think that these locations giving your characters protection while they're there is going to be very interesting.
Yeah. Also, I have to say that between Fang and Cuzco's Palace, the fact that both of those are inkable.
Yeah,
I was like,
I would have expected
wow.
at least Fang to not be inkable. I would
At
have
least Fang
expected.
to like be uninkable, yeah. But it's like that's so nice. all the Emerald players said thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
we've talked through all the cards now, and there are a lot that where locations matter, and so I think that in Emerald that there are some these locations are definitely worth playing to get some of those benefits of having characters at locations.
I think after seeing this, it may change players' opinions on cards who are location specific, since they're all inkable and they're pretty low cost to move and play.
Yeah,
So, especially for Fang, I think a lot of players will change their opinions about like Peter Pan, uh, Cubby, and Stitch as well. Not so much Stitch since he'll just get ward anyway, but I think location specific characters, if you're playing Emerald, I think people will change their mind.
you could very well be right. I can't wait to finally get my hands on some product, get my hands on some of these cards, and see how it plays out. That's
Yeah.
what I'm excited for.
And I think that Emerald really got some great cards in this set.
All right,
Anyway,
Rebekah, Caleb, this was amazing. Thank you guys so
thank,
much for joining me.
thank you so much.
Before we head out, Rebekah, why don't you go ahead and let everybody know where to find you?
Sure thing. So it's Lorcana.Illuminary over on Instagram, and then it's at the Illuminary on Twitter. So come find me. I have a lot of fun on Instagram. I make funny reels. You'll laugh. You'll smile.
Some of the best short form content in
Ah,
the
thank
community.
you.
I got to give it up to you.
Thank you.
Never fails to entertain ever.
It's just bringing some smiles to your day.
Right. All right, you two again. Thank you so very much, and to everybody out there, Glimmer on.